الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ونبينا وحبيبنا وقدوتنا ومولانا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Respected brothers and sisters in Islam, firstly thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala once again. Allah has granted us the tawfiq and the ability to perform our Maghrib Salaah wal Jama'ah. Alhamdulillah. We express our gratitude and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept our salah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us sincerity and istiqamah. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. This evening, inshallah, we will start with the tafsir of Surah Al-Takathur. Last week we've completed Surah Al-Qari'ah and we spoke about how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned about some of the events on the day of Qiyamah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the highlight of Surah Al-Takathur, Surah Al-Qari'ah, was the mizan and the weighing of the good deeds and the evil deeds. And now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned that the one whose scale is heavy of good deeds, he will be of those who will be enjoying the bliss of Jannah. And those whose scale is light of good deeds and heavy of evil deeds, they will be from the unsuccessful ones. And this evening we're reading and starting the tafsir of Surah Al-Takathur. And it is one of the fada'il and special merits of Surah Al-Takathur, as is mentioned, that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is reported to have once asked the noble companions of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam that is there anyone from amongst you who can recite or has a strength to recite 1,000 verses a day? So the companions, Sahaba radiallahu anhu, they said that who can recite 1,000 verses a day, Ya Rasulullah? Then the Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, then can you not recite Surah Al-Takathur? This implies that Surah Al-Takathur equals in weight the worth of 1,000 verses, thus stressing its great importance. So this is one of the virtues and fadail of Surah Al-Takathur. The surah that we recite, many of us and most of us have memorized it. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala starts with the surah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions the greatest distraction of insan in this dunya. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألهاكم التكاثر, that you are distracted by mutual competition in amassing the worldly benefits, says Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So meaning that me and you as insan, what will distract us from our goal and objective in this dunya as servants of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be our mutual competing in this dunya and our excess in love and amassing this dunya, says Rasul sallallahu said Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this was something which Rasul sallallahu feared for the ummah. Your famous hadith where Rasul sallallahu says that Allah, I'm not afraid that you will worship other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Rasul never feared the shirk that we will commit. Rather, Rasul sallallahu was afraid that how we will fight and compete with one another for this amassing of this wealth. And this is a natural quality of insan, no matter how much we try to avoid it, or how much we try to take ourselves away from this reality. The Rasul ﷺ is confirmed that indeed a person, a servant of Allah, he will grow old, he will get old, but two things will always remain young in him. One of the two things is desire for money will always remain young. No matter how old we become, the desire for money and desire for the increase of wealth will always remain. So the distraction, says Rasul, says Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, why we will lose focus in this dunya, it will be because of our excessive amassing and storing of this wealth. And then the interpretation, the ulama, they mention that the word takathur, it is derived from the root letter kathra and means to amass much wealth. Kathra means in Arabic, so kathir, it means something that is abundant. Right? Ibn Abbas, according to Ibn Abbas, Qatada radiallahu anhu says that this word is also used in the sense that a person will amass this dunya, but because of his amassing and accumulating of this dunya, he will become proud and arrogant. So it's nothing wrong to increase and to have a savings account and to save up for one day. There's nothing wrong with it. According to the second tafsir, it is mentioned that Qatada says that if a person amasses his wealth, and now because of his amassing and because of his increase in property and increase in wealth, now he becomes arrogant in this bounty and ni'mas Allah has given to him. So now Ibn Abbas reported the message of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, recited this verse and explained its meaning thus. acquiring wealth but not paying out of its obligatory dues. Meaning, when we acquire our rizq, we amass this dunya, but we have no concern of paying the zakah. We have no concern of giving to the poor and the needy. Our only objective and goal is to amass this dunya. So, here Allah subhanahu, this is the interpretation of this verse, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala now reminds us, then when will me and you realize, or when will this come to an end, and when will this competing come to an end? حَتَّى زُرْتُمُ الْمَقَابِرِ, until you reach the grave. Until you will reach the grave. Until we reach the grave, then the craving will come to an end. That's why Rasulullah says that if the son of Adam was given one valley of gold, he will desire the second. The second will be given to him, he will desire the third, until his stomach will be filled with sand, meaning until he's been placed in his grave. So until we are buried in our graves, then the desire will stop. And then the reality, when we are now laying on our deathbeds, and then the reality will strike. And then, as we see the picture, how the person is being placed in his grave, nothing, there's nothing going with him, except that few people is going in the grave and they will be coming out again. That's what Rasulullah says, when a person dies, three people will go with him. Three things goes with him. Two will return and one will remain. His ahluhu wa maluhu, his family, his children, his wealth will go with him. Some of his wealth will go with him. And his amal, his a'mal, his deeds will go with him. Two will return, says Rasulullah. One will remain. His family will return. His children, his sons, his grandchildren, all of them will return. His wealth will return. The vehicles they go with it will return. The only thing that will remain will be his good deeds. Will be his good deeds. It is mentioned in one of the pious leaders and kings from before. Then when he was sick and he was about to leave this dunya, he called his council and he told them that I would want you, when I leave this dunya, I am going to pass away, that this is my last moment in this world. I have three desires and three wishes I want you to do. The first one, that when I die and my body has been carried out in the street, that only the doctors carry it, only the physicians, only the doctors must carry it. The second wish, on the way to the graveyard, pack some of my wealth and some of my belongings, some of my gold, my treasures, put it along the way. And the third one is, when you carry me through towards the graveyard, expose my two hands on the side. Imagine, expose my two hands on the side. And he explained and says that as for the first one, I want people to see that when the time of death comes, no matter how good of a doctor you have, no matter how good of a surgeon you have, no matter what degree, if Allah's time is there, it will come. Nothing can stop it. Even though I had the best of the best around me, they couldn't stop death. The second thing, when you pack my wealth on the side of the road, that people see that what I have owned, so they can see what I owned of this dunya. And then, when they look at my empty hands, they must see that I can't take anything with me. I'm going to the grave empty-handed. Empty-handed, I'm going to the grave. Only thing that will accompany us will be our good deeds and our evil deeds. So we ask Allah to make us of those that when we are placed in our grave, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us of those who will go with abundance of good deeds. And it also is mentioned, Abdullah bin Sakhari mentioned, reported that one day they visited the Prophet ﷺ while he was reciting Surah Al-Takathur, and he was saying, the son of Adam will say that, Mali, Mali, where's my wealth and where's my wealth? The day of Qiyamah, he will ask, where's my wealth? All of that wealth that he has amassed and saved up in this dunya. But it will say that Rasulullah said that you do not reap any benefit from your wealth except for that which you ate and you finished it, except for that which you clothed yourself with and you wore it out, and which you gave as charity and have spent it. The rest that you left behind, all the rest that you've saved, that is for others to enjoy. That is for your children to enjoy. That is nothing to do with you. That is not even your money, says Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So the money which is ours is what we've used to eat in this dunya, what we've used to drink in this dunya, what we've used to cover our bodies with in this dunya, and what we've, most importantly, what we've spent in the path of Allah. That will be considered our wealth on the day of Qiyamah. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminds us, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, some ulama mentioned this is a threat from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, كَلَّا سَوْفَ تَعْلَمُونَ. No, this is not a correct attitude, meaning to be engrossed and competing in this dunya. You will soon come to know the reality of things. ثُمَّ كَلَّا سَوْفَ تَعْلَمُونَ. Again, you will soon come to know. كَلَّا لَوْ تَعْلَمُونَ عِلْمَ الْيَقِينِ. Say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that no, if you have had sure knowledge of the hereafter, you would have not been so distracted by it. If our knowledge of the hereafter, the knowledge, and that's why in the previous surah Qari'ah, Allah explains to us over and over in the Quran the happenings of the day of Qiyamah so that we can perceive it. We cannot see it, but we can perceive the day of Jahannam, we can the Qiyamah, we can perceive Jannah, we can perceive Jahannam. So that the reality can be in our hearts and so that we cannot be distracted by this dunya. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that لَتَرَهُنَّ الْجَحِيمِ. You will certainly see the fire of Jahannam. ثُمَّ لَتَرَهُنَّهَا عَيْنَ الْيَقِينِ. And then you will see it with an eye of certainty. Then you will see it with an eye of certainty. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminds us, and Allah reminds, and Allah ends of the surah beautifully. Allah says, ثُمَّ لَتُسْأَلُنَّ يَوْمَئِذٍ عَنِ النَّعِيمِ. Every bounty that we experience in this dunya, we will give an account. Allah will question us regarding it. Every favor that Allah is enjoying upon us, everything Allah has given to us, we will have to give a response to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we end off with this story where Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, one day he met Umar radiallahu anhu, Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, sitting outside, and they were sitting. The Rasul came past and Rasul says, "Oh my beloved companions, what is the reason for you sitting like this?" He says, "Ya Rasulullah, the only thing that brought us out was the hunger we felt." Imagine the greatest people after the Anbiya, Umar and Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, hungry, going hungry, they were outside. Both of them hungry. The greatest of the creation of Allah after the Anbiya. Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they asked, "Ya Rasulullah, what are you doing out this time of the night?" Rasul says the same thing, with the same reason why you are out, I'm also hungry. Means the beloved of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the three of them decide they're going to visit one of the Ansar. One of the Ansar of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And he prepares and he hears, and he hears a knock on the door, and who's visiting him? Not any normal people, the greatest of the people of his community, Rasulullah with his two greatest companions. The three of them are visiting Rasulullah. They are visiting him because they are extremely hungry. Extremely hungry. Imagine today when people are hungry, sometimes you feel it is a humiliation. It's humiliation when you're hungry. It's a time we connect with Allah. Today we don't feel, we sometimes eat, but we don't feel hungry. When is the last time I ate because of hunger? I eat because it's the time to eat now, but I don't eat because I'm hungry. Rasul and his companions were hungry. They were hungry. They had anything to eat. The Sahaba he went to his garden, he got some dates. And as Rasulullah is enjoying the dates, he prepares his blade, his knife to cut and to slaughter a sheep for them. As he's slaughtering the sheep and preparing, imagine what a meal after you're hungry. What a meal after you're hungry. So he prepares and he slaughters the sheep and he prepares it for Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And at that moment, as they're enjoying that sheep and enjoying the meat and the dates, after that immense hunger they felt, Rasul sallam reminded the companions, he recited the verse, ثُمَّ لَتُسْأَلُنَّ يَوْمَئِذٍ عَنِ النَّعِيمِ. On the day of Qiyamah, Allah will ask us regarding this bounty, meaning, did you express gratitude to Allah for the ni'mas and favors? One hadith mentioned, Allah will say that I've given you horses to ride with, camels to ride with, donkeys to ride with. Did you ever express your gratitude for it? So every ni'mah and bounty, we should always thank Allah for it. Continuously praise Allah for our health and our free time, our strength. Allah has given to us. Say Alhamdulillah. Praise Allah for it. And we should make it a duty before we go sleep at night. Count how much of the blessings did I show gratitude to Allah for. So that when it comes on the day of Qiyamah, when Allah asks us regarding it, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will already know that we are of those who min ibadi shakur, those slaves of Allah who are very grateful for the bounties and ni'mas of Allah. So we ask Allah to give us a tawfiq and understanding, to make us of those who put into practice to the best of our ability. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.